I figured out what the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was about, and now I am going to tell you that. So, let's get to work. A month and a half have passed since the incident, a day before the events of the second game. Our main character tells us,
It all began as an ordinary day in September. An ordinary day in Racoon City. No one dared to oppose them. And that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. If only they had had the courage to fight. It was Racoon City's last chance. And my last chance. My last escape.
Afterward, we see how zombies overrun the city, and even the police can stand against them. But Jill survived and meets a survivor, Dario Rosso, who lost his daughter and refuses to leave, locking himself in here. The gameplay begins and remains unchanged, except the occasional option to choose your actions in certain situations. At the bar, Jill finds Brad, the STARS pilot, who has already been beaten. Before leaving, he tells her they are both going to die, and that someone is after the Bravo team members. It seems he wanted personally show us who exactly is after them. This is Nemesis, an experimental creature of the Tyrant type, the most advanced biological weapon of the Umbrella Corporation, sent to Racoon City to destroy the fighters of the STARS unit, who know about the crimes of the corporation, and will be running into him from time to time and kicking his ass. You know, this game gives mixed feelings. It's like you already know everything here, but you're craving something new, especially for the camera not to be fixed. In the room where Chris Redfield's diary was, Corporal Carlos Oliveira tries to contact the station and says no one survived, and support are needed. Oh, a new type of zombie I haven't seen before, or have the spiders turned into this? In the cafe, we read the city guide and learned from the mayor that Umbrella donated a lot of money to this town, helping it develop and remain peaceful and safe, for which the mayor is grateful. Got it? Jill meets Carlos Oliveira.
My name's Carlos, Corporal of Umbrella's Biohazard Countermeasure Force.
He's here to save any remaining civilians, but the mission failed. Nemesis appears and gets roasted. Jill talks about how bad Umbrella is, to which Carlos responds.
Look, we're just mercenaries, hired hands. Do you really think the master would tell his dogs why they have to retrieve the stick he just threw? If you want answers, you should talk to someone else. I am not with Umbrella.
By the way, Jill occasionally gathers photos, which seem to be evidence, I suppose. That was also in the previous game, but I ignored it. Sorry about that. Jill gets to the tram, where she meets Sergeant Nikolai Genovaev and the injured Mikhail Victor. Carlos convinces the sergeant to accept Jill's help. The sergeant says they need to reach the clock tower and signal the helicopter for evacuation. But getting there won't be easy, since they are cut off by fire. However, they have a map that should help. So let's get to work. Jill encounters the wounded Mikhail Victor, who heroically takes down a group of zombies. He's a good guy like Carlos. So Jill brings him back to the tram. Later she runs into Nikolai, who killed a colleague, who according to him was about to turn into a zombie. Basically, Jill just gathers materials to get the tram running. They leave without Nikolai, assuming he's dead because Jill saw this. Nemesis attacks them, leading Mikhail to sacrifice himself, and the tram gets damaged. Jill jumps out and the tram crashes, but Carlos survives. They split up again. Jill reaches the clock tower and activates it to attract the helicopter that's supposed to evacuate them. But it gets destroyed by Nemesis, and he infects Jill. She kicks his butt, but then passes out. Carlos finds her and brings her to a church. While she resists the virus, we play as Carlos. In the hospital, he finds wounded Tyrell Patrick, who reveals Nikolai is a traitor, before dying from a bomb in a safe. Having read the instructions, Carlos makes a vaccine for Jill. By the way, it turns out there were several bombs, as it explodes spectacularly. Carlos gives Jill the vaccine and tells her that Nikolai is alive and he is a jerk. Jill finds orders addressed to the supervisor. First, obtain and secure samples of all the information pertaining to this case. Observe and record combat data on the UBCS. Destroy all the evidence, including the medical facility that has medical treatment data. Check the guinea pig's ability to accomplish the mission. After that, evacuate. Also, don't help anyone who is not a supervisor, and don't bring anything back that might be traced to where it belongs. Here is the supervisor's report. In short, the infected guinea pigs are incredibly endurant. Even if you injure them in vital areas, they'll live for a few more days without worrying about the wound. However, they become dumber. If they inject the virus into their paws and release them, they would return to their units and turn into zombies. This plan may work well for them in the future. From effects from the headquarters, we learned that tomorrow morning the military will destroy Racoon City, and the Racoon City project has been abandoned. All supervisors must evacuate immediately. This is even confirmed via communication. The sergeant appears and says his goal is to retrieve a sample of the T-virus, gather data of the effectiveness of Umbrella's creations, and leave. Then Jill faces the boss, the Gravedigger. Jill takes him down. In the sewers, Carlos helps her and warns that the city will soon be destroyed, so they need to split up again and find a way out. Jill heads to the Dead Factory, where a countdown of self-destruction begins, and also the battle with Nemesis. A voice confirms that a missile strike is about to start. Nikolai tries to kill Jill, but he is an idiot, so Jill takes him out along with the helicopter that could have evacuated them. But Carlos doesn't give up.
Jill! That's it. We've got to find a way out of here, now!
Along the way, Jill finds a photo with information about the rail cannon, a powerful weapon, and rushes to where it's located. Jill activates the rail cannon, but how we can forget Nemesis, now in his third form. I hope he's finally dead. Why is he so resilient? Jill, take care of him. Jill finds Carlos, and they get on the helicopter piloted by Barry Burton.
It's the end.
That's it. Umbrella's going down.
Racoon City is no more, so the events in the next games must take place elsewhere, I hope. After escaping the city, Jill sets out to find Chris Redfield, but she only finds his empty hideout. She still believes he's alive, and will keep searching until she finds him. Now let's briefly talk about the game released in 2003, or more precisely the differences from the original. Jill finds Carlos unconscious in the press building, where they meet and then split up. In the church, there is a dialogue between Carlos and Jill, where Carlos shows pessimism about their survival and doubts the evacuation plan. Jill tries to calm him down with words and her left hand, but it doesn't work. While playing as a Carlos, he witnesses Nikolai kills his colleague Tyrell Patrick, and then points a gun at Oliveira, declaring himself the supervisor. Tyrell pulls a pin on a grenade and Nikolai escapes through the window. Carlos tells Jill about the city's destruction here, not in the sewers. Nikolai dies differently after a brief shootout with Jill. Carlos contacts Jill here, saying he found a helicopter and it's ready for takeoff. Jill gets there and they fly away together. The ending is the following. Jill still looks for Chris. Chris has just finished writing a letter to Claire. A short time later he discovers his sister is looking for him, and then he was caught. Barry Burton says goodbye to his family, before heading off to do what I talked about in the previous video, which you should check out. A man claiming to be a government agent tells Leon that Sherry knows too much, but Leon tells him to leave the girl and him alone. Then he tells Claire to go find her brother, as she intended. Claire, saying, "I'll be back, I promise," leaves. Sherry ignores the army officer and hopes Claire will come back for her. Ada won't survive and has to give up her name, shedding tears over it. However, she'll soon have a new mission. The same Hank, aka Mr. Death, is pleased that he survived. I hope I didn't mess up this time. See you in the next video.